Hey guys, it's Thursday morning, and this morning I'd like to talk to you about a story in Genesis from the chapters 37 all the way to the end of the book. There's a character by the name of Joseph, and Joseph goes through some pretty extreme stuff in his life. Um, I feel like they would do a reality TV show on him, like back in the day. That's what they should have done. But it's kind of what it is. So here we go. So Joseph is highly favored by his father. He is um, he's given this coat that make his brothers jealous, and the favor that he receives from his father make his brothers really jealous, and they sell him into slavery. He bounces around from a couple different houses and ends up in Egypt with Potiphar. He's placed there. He does really well, so Potiphar gives him a whole lot. He gives him a whole lot of leniency. He gives him a whole lot of trust and respect over his house. He becomes like the butler, if you will, of Potiphar's house. Only for some things to happen, and he loses that trust because of some false accusations, and he gets thrown into jail. And in jail, he takes care of. He fixes his eyes on what he's got and what he has the ability to do, and he takes care of people in jail. In prison, he makes the most of his time there, and ends up interpreting some dreams. Um, and he tells this guy, "Hey, remember me when you're not here anymore." So jump ahead. He gets out of prison and ends up in Pharaoh's house because that guy that he interpreted the dream for is cupbearer to the Pharaoh, and Pharaoh's got this has this dream and needs an interpreter. No one will interpret it. The cupbearer's like, "Hey, I know this guy. He's down in prison right now, but trust me, he interpreted my dream. It came true. Everything was great. Give him a chance." And so he comes up, he interprets the dream, and that's what kind of takes us. That dream kind of takes us to the end of the story, where Joseph is able to save Egypt and to save the world by listening to God in the dream, interpreting the dream. And the dream was that there was going to be famine, and so the Pharaoh gave him the responsibility to prepare for the famine and to save people's lives. And so um, to kind of step back, if you take a 30,000 foot view of Joseph's life, it was riddled with heartache, with stress, with moments of uncertainty, and times that looked very bleak. Being in prison, being in slavery, being in bondage, not being with your family and everything, and having your family turn your back on, and not having anyone to lean on, no support network or anything like that. So it looked bleak. But through this entire story, and I challenge you guys to read it, from Genesis 37 to the end, chapter 50, we see time and time again that Joseph remained faithful, and that he took and was great at what he had right in front of him. He took the circumstances right in front of him, and he leaned into God and who God was in that time. And so that's my challenge to you. Uh, your schedule's all up in air. Everything's different now. There's stressful circumstances, but we have the ability to do one thing. We have the ability to lean into God and remember who He is, and stay faithful in this time, and see what God creates out of it. I love you guys. I hope that speaks to your heart. You'll have a great day. We'll see you